So today's video is going to be like a follow-up video of my last video about self-love, and in this video I'm going to be giving more of like step-by-step directions. So like a step-by-step guide on how to start your self-love journey. You don't have to do exactly what I do, but it'll give you sort of like an overview so that you can pick and choose, which aspects of my journey or my healing you want to implement into yours. Okay, so the first step in self-love is being 100% honest with yourself, okay? Basically, this is the step where you're going to gauge where you are mentally and spiritually. So you want to do this by sitting down, getting a piece of paper, and writing out every destructive habit you have, every destructive thought you have, every destructive belief that you have, like anything that goes against self-love that is embedded in you. You want to sit down and write this all out. If you have a thought process that you're not good enough, if you have a thought process that you're not smart enough, if you have a thought process that you're not pretty enough, like anything like that, write those things down. Like put them physically on paper. As hard as they are to face, it's going to be important to have to face these things, because these are the things you're going to be counteracting in your self-love journey. Now, if you are someone who isn't self-aware, or you just can't really face the facts or the negative aspects of yourself, you can get a friend to write these things down, but don't take it personally. Like, don't get pissed if your friend points out something in you that you don't want to see. So don't take it personally, but yeah, ask people who know you the most to help you with this list. And if you don't have people around you willing to do that, then you can definitely go to a therapist, have a therapist evaluate you, and then you can make your list from there. So write them all down on paper, and then later on in your self-love journey, you can actually come back to this paper and see how far you've come. The next step is to reprogram your subconscious mind. Now, this step is important because if you don't do this step, everything else on this list is pretty much going to fall by the wayside. You can do all the steps to self-love that you want to do. If you don't believe in your mind that you deserve good things, that you deserve genuine love, like if you don't reprogram your mind to believe these things, anything good that you get in your life, you're going to just end up sabotaging. You're going to just end up destroying. I don't know if you guys know who Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker, is. I actually watched a video of his where he said he was more so practicing, I guess, like manifesting money and abundance externally, but he wasn't reprogramming his mind. So he lost all this weight, he got like a good girlfriend, like things started to turn around in his life, but because he didn't love himself subconsciously, he ended up sabotaging all of it. So just really pay attention to this step. The best way I can explain it is like your conscious mind is your mind that talks back to you, okay? So when you can hear your own thoughts, that's your conscious mind. Like, oh, what do I want to eat today? I want to eat a sandwich. If you heard that in your mind, then that's your conscious mind. But your subconscious mind, it can't talk back to you. And your subconscious mind is this part of your mind that things get stored and programmed into, and because it can't talk back to you, you don't hear it, but it manifests as your reality around you. Okay, so if you believe that you're not pretty, or you believe that you're not smart, or that you don't deserve good things, your subconscious mind won't tell you necessarily that you believe these things, but you'll be able to see it in the way that you interact with people, in the way that you allow people to treat you. So when you lack self-love, there are subconscious programming in your head that is telling you that there's something wrong with you, or there's something broken or defective about you, and that you don't deserve love, and a lot of this programming obviously comes from childhood. It comes from just having negative things being repeated to us about ourselves over and over and over, because your subconscious mind runs on repetition. So how we want to change our subconscious mind is the same exact way: repetition. Now, the easiest way to reprogram your subconscious mind is affirmations. Affirmations are statements that are declared to be true. So an example of a self-love affirmation would be, I deserve all good things. I am a good person. Like these things that you declare to be true, even if you don't feel it inside of you yet, having these things being repeated over and over and over into your head will drill it into your subconscious mind, and then you will subconsciously start to believe it. And then all those negative things about yourself will kind of be pushed to the back and replaced with these good things, okay? Like I said, this is the easiest way to reprogram your subconscious mind, but it's certain times of the day that your brain is more accepting of these messages, okay? So 15 minutes before you go to bed and right when you wake up in the morning, your brain is in something called an alpha state. So your brain is just like in this relaxed, calm, cool, and collected mode, like 15 minutes before bed and right when you wake up. And that's when you're more susceptible to positive messages and embedding them into your head. So what I like to do is to have Louise Hay, I will link her down below, she's amazing. So she has this whole meditation of self-love affirmations, and I honestly recommend just having it play on repeat right before you go to sleep and into the night as you sleep. And then when you wake up in the morning, also having these meditations play. And I wouldn't recommend going to bed with the headphones in, because I've heard horror stories about like people going to bed with headphones and the headphones exploding and all the other, like, y'all not about to come back here and sue me. So don't have headphones in going to sleep. Like, you just really play it out loud. And in the morning time, right when you wake up, you can play it out loud as well, or you can have your headphones in obviously in the morning if you're just laying in bed. So that will make those messages really stick into your subconscious mind, and just keep on doing it every night and every morning. Now, another affirmations trick that I like to use is to set a timer on my phone and just set these same affirmations that are around my house. I'll set them on my phone. So every hour I might get a notification like, I'm so beautiful, I'm so smart, I'm so precious, I'm so loved. It just makes you feel good. Now, if you're working, obviously, or you're in school, you know, you can't have your phone going off every hour, you know. You can do that like as soon as you get off of work or school. Just set it for, you know, the hours that you're going to be at home, and trust me, it makes a really, really big difference in your mood, in the way that you see yourself, when you just get these cute little, you know, reminders of how amazing you are throughout your day. Okay, so my next step in a self-love journey, I would say, is to commit to self-care. My definition of self-care might differ from other people's, but to me, self-care is the creation of beauty and balance within yourself. And that includes your outside environment, but then also within yourself, you know? So I see on social media, I saw some posts that were just like, everybody's turning self-care into something that it's not. Self-care isn't lighting candles and doing a face mask. Self-care is internal work. And while I partially agree with that, I think that self-care also is lighting candles and wearing a face mask, because I believe that self-care is both external and internal. It's about beauty and it's about balance. And I don't mean beauty in a superficial way, like you don't have to look a certain way to love yourself, but there's something about taking care of your appearance that makes you feel better on the inside as well. It's like knowing that you took that extra time out of your day to pamper yourself a little, to do your hair a certain way, or to wear a certain outfit that makes you feel good. Anything that makes you feel confident, it's going to spill over into your self-love. And like I said, a lot of people might think of this as being superficial, but the God honest truth is that people who love themselves take care of their outer appearance. Now, in terms of internal self-care, I would say this involves checking in with yourself, okay? So throughout the day, it's like, check in with yourself and ask yourself, how am I feeling and what do I need? Even if you have to set a timer on your phone for every few hours, check in with yourself. It's like if you had a newborn baby, you wouldn't just kind of be all willy-nilly with their daily schedule. Like, you would be very mindful of what time they need to eat, what time they need to rest. If it's too cold outside, I need to get them an extra blanket, an extra jacket. And for people who struggle with self-love, this is a real problem, because we're so out of touch with our own needs. Like, sometimes you'll forget to eat, or when you do eat, you'll eat a bunch of junk food. Like, you'll step outside, it'll be a little bit cold, and you're like, it's cold, I should go back in and get a jacket, but I don't feel like it. I've done that plenty of times, knowing that if I had like a little infant child with me and the child was cold, I would run back in the house to go get another jacket. But I don't do that for myself. I don't give myself that same respect. And it's the little things like that that make a very big difference in your self-love journey. And another aspect of this is not just taking care of your body internally and eating well, it's also being mindful of the things that you ingest mentally. So being mindful of how much time you spend on social media, how much time you spend ingesting harmful messages like certain reality TV shows or anything negative. Be mindful of how that affects you mentally, and be sure that you don't overindulge in these type of things the same way you wouldn't let a child overindulge in these type of things, you know? Alright guys, so if the angle changed, it's because my camera just died and I had to lose the earrings because they were irritating me, but yeah, you know, we're gonna carry on. So my next self-love step is to focus on your passion. I would have to say that this is the most important step of your self-love journey. If you think back to step 1, where I said you write down all your self-limiting beliefs, your negative habits, your negative thoughts about yourself, these things have to be replaced with positive things. The only true way to completely change the way you look at yourself and the way you see yourself is with not only changing your thoughts, but also with changing your actions. And the best way to do this is to find something that you're passionate about and take action in that direction. People who lack self-love, it comes from a very dark place, right? Like it's embedded in us from an early age that we're somehow broken or defective, and it's hard to like change your viewpoint of yourself when you're coming from that starting point. You know what I'm saying? So I've come to find that just being involved in random activities, like, oh, let me go and take an art class or whatever, when I'm not really into art, like doing stuff like that to just fill your time up, it's just not enough. It's not enough to keep you going. It's not enough to push you forward in your self-love journey. So, you know, finding something that you're passionate about, something that gets you out of bed in the morning, is the thing that's going to really make you change the way you view life and the way you view yourself, and to propel and push you forward in your self-love journey. Now, I highly recommend Gary Vaynerchuk here on YouTube. He is extremely motivational and inspirational. I watch him almost every single day before I take part in my passion project, which of course is my YouTube channel, and also makeup and hair. You know, that's also my passion outside of YouTube. And I always watch him before I practice my craft because he's just so inspirational and motivational, and I highly recommend you do the same, and I will leave his channel down below. But yeah, sit down and try to figure out what's something that makes you just extremely happy, like the thing that you can get lost in for hours at a time, because that's the thing that you are passionate about, and that's the thing that you need to dive into. And the more goals you set for yourself surrounding your passion, the more your confidence and self-love boosts and raises. You know, so setting daily goals to indulge in your passion is definitely an important step. My next step in a self-love journey is to be mindful of the company that you keep, okay? This step is so important, because when you're on a self-love journey, it's easy to think like, okay, this is my journey, I'm doing this on my own, and people tend to look at a self-love journey as something that's so serious and so like restrictive, or something that's like extremely hard work, which it is hard work to like reprogram yourself and to start loving yourself, but you don't have to do the work alone. Obviously, if you're around people who just don't understand you or who don't understand what you're going through, that's just going to make your journey harder. But don't shut yourself off from everybody, because there are positive people who you can enjoy their company and they will enjoy yours, you know? And that does also raise your self-esteem, because it lets you know that you are likable and like you can get along with people. People enjoy your presence and enjoy your company. And sometimes, like, when we're lacking self-love, we forget that. We forget that like we are valuable human beings, not just to ourselves but to other people, and people do enjoy being around us, you know? And I would say another tip is something that I had to learn recently actually, is to let go and let God, okay? You have to surrender to the process. I'm like a control freak, okay? I'm an Aquarius, and I like everything to be mapped out and planned a certain way. You know, Aquarians, we enjoy our freedom, but at the same time, we like to be in control of the situation. So I have a very hard time just surrendering control, and I have a very hard time just letting things flow the way they're supposed to flow, and that stresses me out. It stresses me out, and it's unnecessary stress, because some things in life you literally just cannot control. You can't control how some people are going to act. You can't control how some events are going to unfold. And by trying to stay in control of these things, you literally just end up making yourself sick and stressing yourself out and making yourself depressed and anxious. Obviously, that is the opposite of self-love. You can't be like torturing yourself and loving yourself at the same time. Those are my tips for, like, I guess you could say, scheduling a self-love journey. Like, these are things that you can do on a day-to-day. Okay, and they might seem like a lot, but they're really not. It just seems like a lot of tips, but you can pick and choose which tips you want to implement. So I hope this was helpful, guys. I really do. Comment down below what you do for your self-love journey on a daily basis. My comment section is always open for us to share our stories and for us to support each other. And give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.